Good afternoon, everyone. When we had a press conference yesterday on the Assembly side, as you know, we were prepared and did go in and vote on what we felt was a very responsible revenue and cut package. We had indications that we would have several members of the Republican caucus who would vote. That clearly didn't occur. Darrell Steinberg, the Senator Pro Tem, and myself are committed to getting this job done with or without our Republican colleagues. Today we're here to say that we are going to move forward. We are going to have another vote on both of our floors in the Assembly and in the Senate, and we have what we believe is a significant solution, taking care of 44% of the problem through a way of raising revenue with majority votes. If we had been able to do both, the 2/3 and the majority vote solutions from yesterday and today, we would be close to 60% in terms of solutions to our problems. But I am very happy to say that we will be able to move forward today with a 44% solution. I'd like to ask my colleague, Senate Pro Tem, now to go through some of the specifics of our majority vote solutions and the history as to how we got here.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And first of all, I've been on this job now for less than 3 weeks. One of the reasons why I'm so optimistic about this year and the coming years is the incredible working relationship that I've developed with Speaker Bass. We are in this together. Absolutely. And I think that is a very, very important signal for the legislature and for the people of California. Like Speaker Bass, I came to this legislature, I came 10 years ago with the belief, and I still believe, in bipartisanship. But there is an even greater responsibility than practicing bipartisanship, and that is to govern. And that is what we intend to do here today. A little history. Back in 2003, when the vehicle license fee was the big political football, and the recall election was going on, it was clear to everyone that the VLF was going to go away. I suggested at the time that what we as Democrats ought to do is eliminate the VLF ourselves, but do so in a single bill that also raised an equal amount of taxes to offset the cut to the VLF. And we procured all of the legal analysis from our legislative counsel, which said that in a given bill, if you raise a tax, thank you, that if you raise a tax and you lower a tax and it is revenue neutral after year 1 and after year 5, it's a majority vote. Didn't happen at the time because that was a rather chaotic period. Fast forward 5 years. We are in a situation, as the Speaker indicated, where we have made every effort to engage our Republican colleagues in a bipartisan strategy to make a dent in this budget deficit that is estimated to be $41 billion plus. And they're very clear, both through signed pledge and through action, that they are not going to put up a single vote to raise the necessary revenue. So here is what we are proposing today. We are going to put back the cut package, essentially, that we put on the floor on November the 25th. We are going to raise $9.3 billion of revenue in the following 3 ways. One is a one-time solution, that is to put in place a 3% withholding requirement for contractors, generates $2 billion. Secondly, we are going to undo part of the so-called triple flip by raising the local sales tax back to the place it was prior to 2005. That will generate about $1.6 billion. And then finally, in the big ticket item here, I think the news of the day here, we have gotten creative, I think, in a very, very important and productive way. We are going to put forward a bill today that repeals the sales and excise tax on gasoline in California. It amounts to about 26 cents a gallon. In the same bill, we are going to raise the following taxes: oil severance tax, governor's proposal, half-cent sales tax, and a 2.5% surcharge on personal income. That will raise about $5.9 billion and be fully offset by the cut in the tax on gasoline. And then to address the transportation void that's left with that cut, we will impose a fee on gasoline at the pump amounting to 39 cents that will fully replace the lost revenue from the repeal of the tax, and will add another 13 cents to the fee to do the following. One, to pay down general fund debt, and this is a very important point, to add $2.5 billion of additional dollars for state and local transportation projects annually in California. Economic stimulus, transportation funding, $9.3 billion in additional revenue, $7 billion plus in real ongoing cuts to education, health and human services, and corrections. $18 billion package. It's not the whole solution, but it is a significant dent and will hopefully give bondholders and the people of California the confidence that we are on our way to solving this problem. Thank you.
Joe, can I ask if this is in fact a good plan? Why did it take so long to put it forward?
Oh,
I mean,
let me just say, too, that what the pro tem and I had hoped from the beginning, and what you saw last night in our house, was we wanted a more comprehensive solution. And so clearly, if we had been able to get the votes of the Republicans that we needed 2/3, we could have gone even further. But both of us feel that given the cash situation today, if we weren't able to take a bigger chunk out of what the deficit is, that we are going to move forward in this manner. So I think it is very significant that we have come up with a way to move the ball forward with or without our Republican colleagues.
Let me just add, let me just, well, you know, gas prices are fairly low right now.
Below $2.
And I think what people also want is us to reduce their traffic congestion, their commutes to and from work. And we're going to use this additional money to invest in California's transportation infrastructure. I want to answer John's question as well. You know, you always want to believe that your negotiating partner is going to come to the table to be part of the solution. But it's obvious, I think, to everyone, whether it's the signed pledge or the actions on the floor, that's just not happening. And so you have two choices. You can either continue to sort of bang your head against the wall and hope that they will change their mind, or you can govern. And we believe the higher responsibility is to govern. And, you know, I think the message to our colleagues on the other side of the aisle is we want you to engage in governing with us. But now, and beginning January 1st into the next budget session, we will solve this problem, either with you or without you.
Have you gotten any indication from the governor whether he's going to sign this?
Well, we are working with him, and we know that he feels the same way, in the sense that we definitely would have preferred the 2/3 solution, but I think he's very impressed with the fact that this does take a serious bite out of the problem, and so we'll be working with him today, and we certainly anticipate that he will be not only willing, but excited about at least a partial solution.
Infrastructure board said today that
Yes,
they
it
need
is legal,
The infrastructure
legal
board
opinion.
today said that they need the whole 42 billion addressed in order to really, you know.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I think, first of all, if we could do $41 billion here
We'd
today, we would do it. But $18 billion is 44%, and it's a heck of a start. In terms of the infrastructure, we know this. If we don't do this today, and if it's not signed for some reason by the governor, it's going to make our infrastructure and job problem even worse. And so whether or not this alone allows projects to go forward, it certainly would be a big step forward. I suggest, though, that You asked Treasurer Lockyer what the impact would be if we don't do this today. This is a significant step forward.
Can you explain, maybe I'm a bit dense, but we've all been spending a lot of quality time with the on the infrastructure board. Can you reference at the beginning about your VLF thing? That's not part of it?
That's not part of it. That was
Is
just.
that something that you can do as well, that you still have up your sleeve?
There will be, if the $41 billion number is correct, there will be $23 billion worth of solution left. So this isn't the end, but it is a big step. So we will be back to all of the other options come January. We should note, we have our two budget chairs here as well, Senators Ducheney and Assemblymember Evans joining us.
The backup plan that you and the city are going to put forth on the floor today, doesn't it violate the spirit, if not the law, of the two-thirds requirement to raise revenue?
Absolutely not. We have had this vetted by very conservative legislative counsel who is very reluctant to deviate from the two-thirds requirement, but they are very clear that as long as a single bill itself is revenue neutral, that it only requires a majority vote. And since a gas tax can easily be a fee because of the nexus between that fee and transportation, this is a very, very sound plan.
So the key thing about making it legal is not that it's a one-for-one replacement, but that the new gas levy is a fee and not a tax.
Correct.
So that's what makes it
Well, that makes that
doable by a
piece
simple majority vote.
Correct.
separate. They're each, Dan, they're each separate,
You think
they
the
gotta
courts
each
will
be
agree?
separate bills.
Yes.
One bill is, in other words, one bill is the revenue neutral tax exchange, and another bill is imposition of a fee. We can always impose any fee on a majority vote. That's a proper fee, and so the question of the nexus to gas users, and in fact, to the earlier question, the numbers, a flat number, so when your gas was $4 last summer, you were paying more in excise taxes than this would cost you today. So it, because the others used to flow by percentage, and this is a flat number.
Usually a fee is for a service. What service is this?
Highway.
It's essentially a highway user fee to reduce traffic congestion. And look, people will criticize this. That's fine. That's what this is all about. But put the challenge to anyone else. What viable option is currently on the table that will make this large of a dent in California's budget deficit before the first of the year? It's not out there.
Because what if gas goes up to $5 again?
It's a fee. The fee stays the same. Fee stays the
No
same.
matter what the price of gas is?
Fee stays the
So
same.
that's why it used to be more.
Assembly, Mr. President, let's just go this real quick. So it's a 13, when all is said and done, voters will be paying 13 cents more per gallon at the pump. They will pay a 2.5% surcharge on their state income tax.
Correct?
That's a fee as well.
No, that's a tax.
That's a tax that you're going to do with a straight.
Majority vote.
Because you're swapping it out for the excise tax. on
And
gas.
how much in total will the sales tax go up?
3/4 cent in total.
So 3/4 cent sales tax, 2.5.
We're gonna have a total background briefing after the
Can you
numbers.
address
Yeah.
one, can you address
That
one
seems
issue?
like a heck of a package for voters to swallow.
You want-
$41 billion debt that you cannot cut your way out of unless you want to make draconian cuts to public education, higher education, and health care.
18,
Stimulus, I mean, there's some talk that he would veto some.
this package will include economic stimulus, and we're identifying that now. So you can get more details.
Appreciate it.